A young vet was taking a walk when he came across a wild horse in chains. Touched by the scene before him, he freed the horse, but he definitely didn't expect the way it would thank him for his help. Veterinarian Ovidiu Rosu was walking through the quiet fields of the Romanian countryside one day. He had recently moved to the area and was trying to get familiar with his new surroundings. After a while, Ovidiu spotted a herd of horses calmly grazing. While this wasn't anything unusual in rural areas, he would soon realize something wasn't quite right. Since his path crossed theirs, he naturally walked toward them. He had always been drawn to horses and was excited to get a closer look at the herd. As he got nearer, he kept a sharp eye on how the horses moved. One in particular caught his attention, not because of its looks, but because it was walking strangely. Out of habit, his professional instincts kicked in, and he began watching the horse's legs carefully from a distance. That's when he noticed a chain, and instantly understood the reason for the animal's odd movement. As a vet and volunteer for the animal rights group Four Paws International, he felt a deep ache in his heart. He had seen things like this before during past assignments in different regions. Sadly, it was a common practice in some places to chain a horse's legs to stop it from running off. This one must have tried to escape anyway, which explained both the limp and the strange walk, and likely some injury too. Moved by a mix of concern and curiosity, Ovidiu slowly approached the horse. As he got closer, he saw the tight metal chain around its front legs, clearly causing pain with every step. The horse limped heavily. Ovidiu's caring instincts immediately kicked in. He knew he had to help, but at the moment he didn't have the right tools on him. Motivated by a sudden sense of duty, he rushed back home to grab the tools he needed to help set the horse free. He also asked a friend to come along and film the encounter. As a vet, Ovidiu believed in using every chance he got to spread awareness about the abuse many animals still suffer. And this was one of them. On the walk to and from home, all Ovidiu could think about was the best and safest way to free the horse without causing it more harm. Quietly, he planned out his rescue, determined to give this horse the freedom it had fought so hard for. With a sense of urgency, Ovidiu Rosu hurried back to the field where he had spotted the horse earlier, but to his surprise, the animal was no longer with the rest of the herd. Where had it gone? Ovidiu looked around the herd again, hoping to catch a glimpse, but the horse was missing. He searched the field and its surroundings, but the stallion was nowhere to be found. Disheartened, he turned around and began heading home. A few minutes later, walking along the winding path toward his house, with his friend following behind, a sudden crashing noise caught his attention. He turned toward the sound and saw a large horse had fallen. He couldn't tell right away if it was the same horse, but without hesitation he rushed to the spot, and was met with an unexpected but welcome sight. It was the very horse he had been searching for just moments earlier. Although relieved to find it again, Ovidiu knew he had to approach with great care. The horse was in clear pain and likely wouldn't trust a stranger so easily. He moved closer, speaking softly to calm it. Meanwhile, his friend pulled out his phone to record the moment from a safe distance. As Ovidiu got nearer, the horse tried to rise, letting out a loud whinny, its nostrils flaring in warning. It was trying to defend itself. The vet understood. After all, the poor animal had likely been hurt by humans before. Trust wouldn't come easily. But Ovidiu was determined to help. The horse kept struggling, and it pained the man to watch. He knew that some farmers used chains to keep their horses from wandering off into the woods, but that didn't make it right. He couldn't help but feel deep sympathy for the suffering stallion in front of him. Still, Ovidiu didn't give up. He continued to whisper gently, offering comfort. Slowly, the horse seemed to realize this man was not like the others. It began to relax and let him come closer. Grateful for the trust, Ovidiu stepped forward with wire cutters in hand, a hopeful gleam in his eyes. Time was of the essence, and he knew that freeing the horse safely might decide whether it could walk normally again. Carefully, he began loosening the chains link by link, easing the pressure that had tormented the animal for far too long. The horse was breathing heavily, which wasn't a good sign, so Ovidio worked quickly, cutting away section after section of the chain as fast as he could. Soon, the vet had removed all the chains from the horse's front legs. But then he noticed something else that seemed to be causing the stallion even more pain. The chains alone had been awful, but what he saw underneath was truly disturbing. Beneath the metal links was a tangled mess of sharp wire wrapped tightly around the horse's sensitive hooves, digging into the skin and causing it great discomfort. Taking it off wouldn't be easy or painless, but it had to be done. Wearing gloves, Ovidio carefully began to pull out the tangled wire embedded in the stallion's hoof. The horse whined and shifted nervously, but after a moment it quieted down, seeming to understand that the man was helping. The painful pressure in its foot was slowly disappearing. It was nearly free. Then Ovidio saw that the same thing had happened to the other hoof. He moved to that foot and began removing the broken pieces of sharp wire just as carefully. This time the horse stayed calmer, almost like it remembered the vet's gentle touch. That made it easier and faster to finish the task. Bit by bit, he pulled out the last pieces of wire from between the hooves. The young horse was now almost completely freed from everything that had hurt it. Ovidio thought the hardest part was over, but their touching encounter wasn't quite finished yet. As the final bit of chain dropped to the ground, the horse let out what sounded like a deep sigh of relief. Its breathing became steadier, but strangely, it didn't try to stand up or run. For a few tense moments, Ovidio checked its legs again, but couldn't find anything obviously wrong. He just hoped the hooves hadn't been too badly injured, and waited quietly. Then, finally, the horse rose to its feet. For Ovidio, it was an unforgettable moment, seeing the beautiful animal standing tall again. He took a few slow steps back, giving it space to run free into its new life of freedom. But then something extraordinary happened. Rather than run off, the horse stepped toward the vet, leaned in gently, and nuzzled him for a moment, as if to say, "Thank you." Ovidio was stunned by the unexpected gesture and turned to his friend with a wide, excited smile. He had seen similar behavior before in animals like pet dogs and cats, but never from a wild animal like this. It was a rare and beautiful moment of trust and gratitude. Still amazed, he watched as the freed horse galloped off into the open fields. He felt honored to have been part of the horse's story. Helping it regain its freedom had been reward enough, but that affectionate touch made it a memory he knew he'd carry with him forever. The vet's kind and selfless act had been recorded on video by Ovidio's friend, who had filmed everything from a safe distance. Realizing how powerful the moment was, they decided to share it with the world by uploading the clip to YouTube. Sure enough, once the video went live, its effect was immediate and powerful. The vet's dedication and the horse's bravery touched a nerve with viewers across the globe. Moved by the compassion and quiet heroism on display, people everywhere began to share the video, and it quickly went viral. What started as a chance meeting turned into something much more, a bond. As the horse disappeared into the horizon, Ovidio hoped it would spend the rest of its life free from human-caused pain. He knew the stallion deserved a future filled with peace, and he was proud to have helped make that happen. What a touching story. Would you ever cut the chains that bind someone else's animal, and how would you react if that animal thanked you like the horse did with Ovidio? Tell us in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.